Hi, you're watching Jacksonville for Life. We are a nonprofit here in town promoting a culture of life in Jacksonville. If you've never seen our website, please visit us at jacksonvilleforlife.org. We're happy today to introduce to Jacksonville again Russ and Jill Amerling with Choose Life, Inc. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity of being here. We really appreciate what you're doing here in Jacksonville.
No, it is our pleasure. We've all seen those bright yellow license tags. Can you tell us how those started?
Wow, that's a long story, going a long way back, but we'll shorten it up a little bit. It started in 1996. County Commissioner Randy Harris had an idea. He was driving down the road and saw a specialty license plate like Save the Manatee or Save the Panther, and the question came to his mind, why aren't we saving children? And that kind of gelled in his mind over a period of several months, and he finally came up with the idea of getting a Choose Life license plate, and that was the beginning of it. 3 years later, in August of 2000, the license plate was finally approved by the legislature and went on the sale. It's raised $7.5 million for the cause of adoption in Florida, and there's about a third of a million plates have been sold and or renewed.
It's probably more now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That is amazing. Say that again. How much has been raised for the state of Florida?
About 7.5, as Jill says, about 7.6 million. We're raising about $700,000 a year in Florida, and the money goes to pregnancy centers, maternity homes, and nonprofit adoption agencies that are life-affirming. That means they're not involved in abortion in any way.
That's fantastic, because we know that the abortion folks get over $300 million every year through taxpayer money through the federal government, so it's nice to see that, that we can do something locally, and it stays locally.
And it stays locally. The money raised in the county goes back to the county where the plate was sold, and also in addition to the funds, there's just that good little message of the license plate driving all over Florida. There's about 35,000 of them on the road here in Florida with the number 9 best-selling plate out of 114.
That's amazing. All those plates only been around since the late 90s, and it's already number 9.
Yeah, it took off when the first plate, when it first came on the road. The law at the time was that a specialty plate had to sell 8,000 plates in any 5-year period, or the plate would die. They would recall it. The Choose Life license plate sold 8,000 plates in the first 5 months of going on the road.
Oh, I remember you came and spoke to one of our CPAC meetings, and it was like 97 or 98, and talking about it, and I couldn't get to the DMV right when they came out. I kept on asking my wife, please go, and we started off with 2, and now we have 5. It looks like a parking lot with all these bright yellow tags. And I have to ask you this, why the bright yellow color?
Well, that was Randy Harris's idea. Two reasons. He said that he wanted it to be different from any other plate, and of course, as it turned out, it's very close to the municipal plates. And his comment when I told him that, he said, well, initially they'll think that it's a municipal plate, but after a while they'll think the municipal plate is a Choose Life plate, and that's basically what happens now when people see that sort of yellowish plate. They think it's a Choose Life plate first, and then they get up close and say it's a cop car.
I'm always encouraged when I see them on the road.
Thank you.
That this isn't just something that we're right-wing fanatics or something. That it is number 9 again, like it's the number 9 selling tag in the state after such a short period of time, and it's doing such great work as far as helping young mothers placing their babies for adoption.
We have a number of testimonies on our website that attest to that fact. I had told you our website, the national website, is choose-life.org. If you want information about the Florida plate, it's flchoose-life.org. And that's the situation all around. If you want to know what's going on in Texas, you go to txchoose-life.org. Just put the 2-digit postal abbreviation code for the state in front of the national website, and it'll take you, if there's an action going on there, it'll take you to that website.
Yeah, it's a very user-friendly website.
Thank you.
How's Duval County within the state?
Wow, you guys are doing great. First of all,
That's a loaded question, sorry.
You've got a great committee here in Duval County, to distribute those funds. So,
I know initially, I believe it was City Council President Ginger Soud was one of the first leaders on it.
you've raised $461,000 since the plate first went on the road, and approximately $46,000 a year is
great.
how much is being raised in Duval County. You have approximately 2,033 plates on the road. Now that's a lot of money being raised, but that's a very seemingly insignificant number of plates. And this is our message anytime we get a chance to talk to the public in Florida, is that it takes very few plates to make a significant amount, to raise a significant amount of money, because $20 every year of each plate that is bought or renewed goes back to the county where the plate was sold. So, I mean, 1,000 plates on the road raises $20,000.
That's right.
And when you consider that Duval County's population is,
It's huge.
what, any idea?
Yeah,
It's huge.
with
It's
the neighboring counties, it's over 1 million now.
All right. So, and yet there's probably less than 3,000 or 4,000 plates on the road there. So there's tremendous opportunity for increase or improvement, and all that money comes right back to the counties where the plate was sold. So you know that when you buy a plate, that the money is going to be spent in your county supporting the adoption efforts and of the pregnancy centers, maternity homes, and nonprofit adoption agencies.
Now, if someone already has a tag, how would they go ahead and have that converted over to Choose Life tag?
All they need to do is go into the local tag office, take their registration and proof of insurance, and tell them they want to switch to the Choose Life license plate. As an incentive for folks to do that, if you do it outside of your normal renewal cycle, it costs $10 more than what it would cost you to do during the renewal cycle. And so we have this Choose Life license plate frame that we sell on our website for $10, and we will send that free to anybody that switches to the Choose Life license plate, sends me an email with their name, address, and phone number, and their new tag number, and I will send this to them for free. And that's our way of saying thank you for switching, and it also sort of compensates for that extra $10 that you had to pay by switching between seasons, so to speak.
Oops. I already said I have 5, so I guess I can't email you. What if someone buys a new car, what would they have to do to get a tag? Choose Life tag.
Most of the new car agencies do not want to get a specialty plate for you, but when I got our car, it was new to us, we insisted, and we pressed them and told them we want a Choose Life plate, and they did get it for us. But most new car agencies, they have a streamlined process, they don't want to do it. But if you wait until they give you your generic Florida tag and then go down, you'll have to pay for new registration and such, and I think it'd probably be about $15, $25 to $25. So I urge people that are getting a new plate to insist, a new car, to insist at that time that they get them a Choose Life plate if they want it.
Good, good. And I've, when we go out of town, it always tickles me to see other states with Choose Life tags, and wife's always like looking at me odd when I'm getting out the phone trying to take a picture of West Virginia or Connecticut. How many other states have Choose Life tags now?
Connecticut, yes.
Yes,
I
the
believe
plate
yes.
has been approved in 26 states, right? 26 states, and on the road in
Yeah.
24.
That's great.
And it's raised about $14.4 million nationally in those states that have it on the road. We are working in most of the other states to help those states get it as well. Basically what we're doing, we're not doing anything there directly ourselves. We are the Johnny Appleseed of the Choose Life license plate. We go around anytime a state group wants to get the plate. We go there, we train them, we give them a website, we give them a domain name, we tell them the kind of questions they're going to run into, and then they do it all. And then, of course, we just sit back and act as an unpaid consultant to their effort. The idea being that they don't have to reinvent the wheel. Every state doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. So we've been doing this now for 14 years. We have a pretty good idea what's going to work and what won't work. And so as individual groups raise up in other states, they hear about the plate and they want to get it in their state, they contact us, and then we start working with them, just as a consultant would, only we don't charge them anything for the service.
Now, Florida was the first to have the Choose Life plate?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yep.
How's Missouri getting? And so they sold a lot. Missouri.
They're just starting out, actually.
Yeah, but they've got a lot.
They got a beautiful tag.
Do they?
The Missouri plate is a
Oh, yeah.
really nice plate. I'm sorry, you asked me a question?
Oh no, that's okay. I would just listen about the Missouri and still thinking it's amazing that it's something that one individual, you said Randy Harris?
Randy Harris.
One individual had this idea that's raised all this money that's in half the states of the union, and other states are actively pursuing it. It's really a testament of what one person can do if they sit there, you know, led to a thought and pursue it. I doubt if Mr. Harris had any idea that all these states would have that and all this money would be raised.
He thought Florida.
His goal was Florida.
Yeah.
His wife volunteered in the pregnancy center, and he just saw it as a way of sending funds to an agency that he knew was doing a good job and needed resources. So, but that's true. Philosophically, I like to think about the fact that if you think back, most of the really great ideas in the world, one person came to one person, and then they moved forward on it, and so other folks got involved. But yet Randy's very thrilled with this now. He's no longer on the county commission, but he's working very hard to keep these plates promoted, selling well here in Florida.
How close is it to being number 8 on the list?
I think, if I recall, the Marine plate
That's a
just
pretty
passed
good
us
one.
here a while back, and they are, and they are number
Mostly this states.
8. Let me find out. Actually, no, that's not. The Marines are number 7. The top 10 are the University of Florida,
Yes.
with a little over 100,000 plates. Help Sea Turtles Survive, 66,000. Florida State University, 63. Protect the Wild Dolphins, close behind with just right at 63. Protect the Panthers, 62. Save the Manatees, 52. U.S. Marine Corps, 39. Protect Our Reefs, 36. And Choose Life with 31,000. So 31,005. So you can see how Randy was motivated here. If you look at these plates, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 10, 5 of the top 10 plates are protecting natural resources, but now we have the Choose Life plate in there protecting the most valuable
That's
resource
right.
that we have.
That's good.
If I could, I don't know if the cameraman could zoom in. This is a picture on our national website,
Exactly.
and it shows by color code how the United States is shaping up on the Choose Life license plate. All the green states are the states that have the plate on the road. The yellow states are states that are currently working on it. The red states, there's no one in those states working on it. And the
right.
one brownish or orangish state up there, New York, there's litigation ongoing suing the state of New York to require them to approve the Choose Life plate, since they've approved 200 other specialty plates, but they don't like the message. So we're waiting on a judge's ruling. The suit's been going on for 6 years, and we're waiting on a judge's ruling on a motion for summary judgment. So hopefully that'll be resolved pretty soon in our favor.
Yeah, that was my next question. I understand the left has filed lawsuits against the Choose Life plate. What is the, I can't say logic, but
There's no logic.
the thought behind that?
Again, it's hard to say. Our position from the beginning has been this is a free speech issue. If you folks want to get a license plate to espouse your viewpoint, whatever that would be, then go through the same procedures we did, jump through the same hoops, get a bill and get it passed and into legislation. Here in Florida, about 5 years ago, they tried to do that, and they're still trying. They needed to raise $75,000 for the $60,000 application fee and then $15,000 of expenses. And the last I saw on their website, they had raised $7,500 after 5 years. So it has a lot to do with the support that the plate has, and that's the procedure set up here in Florida. It's a free speech arena, but you need to have a certain degree of support to make it worthwhile for the state to create that license plate. So in other states where the application process is much simpler, Hawaii, they got a plate approved there that said respect choice, and in Montana they have one that says pro-family, pro-choice. The Montana Planned Parenthood has that. Virginia has a Trust Women Respect Choice plate, and Pennsylvania has some kind of Respect Choice plate, but I'm not sure the name of it. But the Hawaii plate failed after about 4 years for lack of sales. The state withdrew it. The Montana plate, the Choose Life plate, is outselling them 8-1. The Virginia plate, they're outselling the pro-choice plate 10-1, and the last stats I had on Pennsylvania, they were outselling about 50-1. So it's just not a it's not a vehicle, if you'll excuse the pun, for the pro-choice side to use, and so not very many states try to get it.
Yeah, I was wondering how many people would be wanting to spend $20 a year to have you know, pro-abortion or choose death on the back of their cars, but apparently not too many.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a free speech arena, and that's how the courts have been ruling in virtually all of the situations that exist.
In fact, right now in New Jersey, Governor passed.
That's true.
New England, New York being closer, right?
We sued New York and New Jersey at the same time 6.5 years ago because we applied. When I say we, I mean the group in those states. Dr. Elizabeth Rex sued the state of New York and the state of New Jersey to require the plate because they were allowing other specialty plates, and Governor Christie settled the lawsuit and approved the plate, and it's on the road in New Jersey, and as I said, we're still waiting for a decision of
I mean,
courts.
it's so close, right next door neighbor. You lit it. Why not?
Yep.
That's
So,
Yeah, it just obviously being pro-life, it just mind-numbing that you can sit there and support sea turtles, dolphins, manatees, all nice creatures. I'm not sure that we'll see any of them, of their souls in heaven, but, you know, creatures made in the image of God, you know, no, we don't want you to donate $20 a year to an adoption.
well, we're very blessed here in Florida to have been the first state, and like I said, our goal with the Choose Life promotion is to get the message to every person in the state of Florida that we believe would buy the plate if they knew where the money went, they knew how to get it, and they knew how much it cost. We believe that there's untold thousands of people in Florida that if they knew those three things, they would go out and get it. We're not trying to change the people's mind that don't want to get a plate. There's many others they can buy, but we believe that there are literally thousands and thousands of people that if they knew those three things, where the money went, how much it cost for the plate, and how to get it. And the answers to those three questions are, it goes back to your county, to the pregnancy centers, maternity homes, or nonprofit adoption agencies. It costs $25 a year above the normal cost of your license plate. There is an initial one-time switching fee that varies depending on where you are in your cycle of renewal. And the last answer to the last question is your local license plate office. The DMV are currently working on an online switching process. It's not up and running yet, but they've assured us that they're working on that, and so one day we hope there will be an online switching process so they can just do it with their credit card online.
Nice.
So,
how long have you two been traveling and promoting the Choose Life plates?
our first official involvement was going to the county commission meeting that Randy Harris called on February the 4th, 1997, and that's when we were hooked. Actually, if I could back up just a moment, I don't know how our time is doing here, but we had been involved in singles ministry. I'm a lay singles pastor, and we've been doing singles ministry for years. And one of the young girls in our singles group got pregnant and was going to have an abortion, and that woke us both up to the abortion crisis in America. And in our singles group, we started talking about it. And one of the young men, Robbie Drescher, asked me, he said, "Russ, what would have you done if you'd have been living in Germany in World War II when the Nazis were killing the Jews? Would you have risked your life to save them?" And I thought for a moment, and I said, "Probably not. I'm not a hero. Afraid I wouldn't have been able to do something to risk my life and my family's life." And he looked me right in the eye and he said, "Russ," he said, "there's a Holocaust going on in America." And he said, "You don't need to risk your life. You just need to stand up and say something." And God used that and the other things in my life to when I met Randy Harris and he told me what he was going to do, I knew right away that that's what I was supposed to be doing. I had just retired, was looking for volunteer work, and one of those matches made in heaven.
So the young lady in your Sunday school class, she chose not to abort.
Yes.
Her baby is now what?
She's about
10 years old.
No, she's a bit older than that. She's about 14. He's about 14 years old, and
See.
we stay in touch with her.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
doing
that's
fine,
great.
and she said that not aborting that child changed her life. She was living a pretty wild life up to that point. She got pregnant, and she thought about abortion, and she decided not to do it. And she said having that little boy made her grow up and turned her life around. She's happily married now and has several more children.
Yeah.
So it was an adult thing to do, not to abort that, and she acknowledged that it made a difference in her life. And we've talked to a number of women that have made that decision or the decision to place their child for adoption, and they all point to that, saying, you know, it was a wake-up call for me. It was a growing up time for me. And we know that those decisions are painful, and women that choose abortion, it's very painful for them. And that's why we want the truth to get out there, that there are better choices that you can make. If you can't parent that child, then you need to place that child. Give that child a chance to have a life. And you will have been a good mother when you do that, because that's what a mother does. A good mother takes care of her child or sees to it that the child's needs are met by someone else if she can't take care of them. So we're proud to be involved in this effort, proud of folks like you that want to get the word out there that there is a better choice than abortion. There's a much better choice than abortion, and adoption is it if you can't parent that child. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's happening here in Florida. You had asked me before the show about what's happening here. Here in Florida, the money flows from the Department of Motor Vehicles to the County Commission, and then the County Commission distributes it out to the qualified agencies. But there's no instruction in the bill telling them what to do. Some counties distribute all the money to one agency. Maybe it's just a simpler process for them. Some counties have a lot of paperwork and red tape to get the funds out, and it becomes very onerous for pregnancy centers and such that are not usually large organizations. And so we have asked the legislature to approve a bill that will send the funds not through the county commission but through the Choose Life organization, so that we can distribute the funds out to these qualified agencies that are entitled to the funds. So if this bill passes, the Choose Life funds will be distributed through Choose Life. Money will be available to promote and advertise the plate, which we are the only license plate in Florida that cannot use some of the funds raised by the plate to promote the sale of the plate. So our position as number 9 was done basically with little or no promotion, except what the churches and groups like yours help us do. But this will give us some resources to do different things. And one of the things that we're thinking of doing is assisting with the switching fee for new people that want to switch to the plate. Use that instead of putting up a billboard to promote the plate. If someone is interested in switching to the Choose Life license plate, we will assist you with that switching fee the first year, so you can switch to the plate and not have that upfront expense. Our view, of course, is that that payment that we make there will be returned, because every year when they renew the plate, another $20 comes back again. So we've tried that in the past. We had a donor in Orlando give us $10,000, and with that we were able to switch 650 people to the Choose Life plate. So we're hoping the bill will pass, and we're hoping that will work, and the funds will get out much more quickly than they do now, and there will be a unified reporting and distribution procedure set up statewide, so that all the agencies will know exactly what it is they need to do to apply for the funds.
Yeah. And anyone's interested to follow that and other, I think there's like a dozen other pro-life bills in Tallahassee this session. They can get to our website, jacksonforlife.org, and check out the news page, and it has links for all those bills. But I was happy to see that.
Very good. Our goals here in Florida for the promotion is for the Choose Life plate to be number 1. You know, why set your goal for number 2? We want to be number 1. That's a substantial increase that we would have to see to do that, but we believe it's a doable goal, and that's where we're working. Those are the sort of things that we're trying to do. We've been doing it on a shoestring budget, and we're proud of the successes that happen. The ways that your listeners can help, there are several ways your listeners can help. First of all, we can furnish them with a bulletin insert or whatever they want. If they want to make up flyers or material to hand out, have them they can contact me, and once I know exactly what they need, we may have it already prepared. If not, we can prepare something for them. The most common thing that happens is individuals will contact their pastor or priest and say, can we put something in the bulletin about the Choose Life license plate? And then they call me and say, I need it to be this size, so forth. And then we design something specifically for them, send it to them, and then of course they get it in and get the word there. We also, limited opportunity, but when we're traveling around, any churches that want us to come and speak briefly about the Choose Life license plate, we can do that. We have a 3-minute spiel, we have a 5-minute spiel, and we can get the basic information, as I said. Where does it go? What does it cost? And how do I get it? We can get that communicated in a very short period of time, and hopefully their parking lots in their churches will turn yellow like my church has.
Nice. What, how would you recommend someone approach their pastor that sit there and say, you know, I would like to have Russ and Jill come speak, or I'd like to have a bulletin insert or in the prayer sheet or the Sunday bulletin?
Of course, that varies from church to church, but generally the best chance of that happening is if a member does it. If I contact a church, and I've tried this in the past to contact a church, if they don't know who I am, they're right to turn me down. I mean, that's their pulpit, and they need to use that for the things they think God's calling them to do. The first thing I would ask would be, if someone that called, is does this happen in your church? Are groups other than not directly related to that sermon or something like that, do they let that happen? And if so, then tell them who I am. I have letters of recommendation from a dozen different churches where I've spoke, attesting to the fact that I'm concise and all the things that pastors are afraid that a guest speaker might say, attesting to the fact that I don't do that. When I'm there, I'm talking about the Choose Life plate and the beauty of adoption, and that's what I'm there for.
Great. Before I run out of time, can you tell us about your website again and what you brought?
Yes, the other way that you can support or help support us is we have a website, choose-life.org or flchoose-life.org, and we have a lot of promotional product that's available on that website. The frame I talked about, we've got a Frisbee, we've got a Choose Life tie.
I don't know how many of those ties I've given out to church members.
I love them.
This has been a very good fundraiser for us, and then after a while, the lady said, wait a minute, that's not fair, so we made up scarves for them. We've got vehicle magnets that
Those are very popular.
stick on the outside of your car. Kids, Frisbees. If you want to put stickers on your mail when you send it out, Choose Life stickers. There's 28 on a page. And then we started getting what we call witness ties. We have about 75 different witness ties with a message. Some of it's, as I say, very subtle Christian message. Some of it's quite in your face, depending on what you want. And then recently we had some ties made up for the military. We've got ties for Army, the Navy, the Coast Guard, Air Force, and Marines. So those are available, but that's on our website. If you click on Product Store, it'll take you there. You can order online. I'd like to also add, if you're watching and you're with a nonprofit pro-life organization, you are authorized to buy any of this product at wholesale prices.
Well, I hate to cut you short. Time goes by so quick. I want to thank you both for coming to Jacksonville again, promoting a culture of life in Florida and now throughout the nation, and everything that you do. And everyone that's watching today, please do something. Save babies in Jacksonville.